views expressed during this live program are not necessarily the views of Up Entertainment Inc., owner and operator of Roots Record Radio, but those of the presenter, host, participants, whether in studio or via telephone. It is further stated that Up Entertainment Inc., owner operator of Roots Record Radio, bears no liability for the content of this program, but will endeavor to ensure that due diligence is exhibited by all parties involved. Enjoy the program.
Yo, thank you very much. I always love that disclaimer, so remember, the only person speaking is me. My objective is to educate as best as I can. And I wouldn't say educate, I was giving my opinion on things. My opinions are personal and sometimes not greatly researched as it should be, but you know, we get hit with superficial news and I try and sift through the bullshit and then bring what I bring. One of the things I focus on always is injustice. The injustice we face is constant. So my views and my message, though maybe boring and monotonous, is also constant. So I went and stick with that. As usual, I went and start the show off with RRR, Rastafari against domestic abuse. I keep saying these things only because I'm hoping Rastafari people get up and fight towards something positive, like defending our woman. Defending woman defends our children, defends our community, it defends our village, defends our worldwide community. What we man do to woman is pretty horrendous, and it's continuous, it's constant, and we have done nothing really to change it. So, yeah, what I do is play Miss Nanny Mystic's song for you. And listen to this track. Like I said, this young lady somehow figured out she wasn't going to be here. And she wrote the music. Just listen to this music and consider the fact that she's not here anymore and what these lyrics tell you. Run tune selector. Yeah, that make that song better now. I'm not for shouting to it anymore. Thank you. That track was made by Friendliness, aka Christopher James Houghton. Friendly man over the years. He heard the track, he looked, and all it had was the vocals and the guitar. And he added everything else. The death of Nanny Mystic moved him enough to pay tribute to her with that track. Domestic abuse is part and parcel of a very big issue. It's not just we're talking about the man. What I always say, the behavior of abusing someone smaller than yourself is cowardly, and if it's your wife or the mother of your children and you're abusing her in front of your children, that is unacceptable. That is cowardly behavior. Maybe you're not a coward, but the behavior is cowardly. So if you're not a coward, stop abusing the individuals in your home, wife and partner who can't defend themselves. If you have issues to deal with, go deal with them. But then when you look at injustice over and over, you start to see a pattern of injustice through the world when it pertains to women and non-white people. So I take a look at what we in Canada, if women in Canada, all of our women in Canada want to maybe take a peek, they already are more aware of this than I am. I'm learning as I go. 10 to 12,000 disappeared Native women. What are we waiting on? Are we waiting like Hitler killing 6 million Jews? We in Canada are doing the same thing to Native people. Our Canadian government is doing the same thing to Native women. And what our other women, especially the white ones with any kind of power, if you want domestic abuse sometimes and all kinds of abuse towards women to be alleviated, maybe we should all be getting up and fighting for Native women, because the Native women have no power, zero power. We spend a lot of time saving dogs and cats on the streets, but not humans, Native humans. So my analogy is, if we were to be serial killers ourselves and we would go out and we would attack blonde white women every single week, we wouldn't get to 10,000. I doubt they would get to 10 before we were caught. So what was clear is that the life of the Native people are not as important to us as Caucasian life. It's obvious, but if more Caucasian people were to catch wind of that, maybe some changes could be made. So I just keep talking that talk. And as we're on the talk of Native people, I love this track. It's educational. The Standing Rock, the Pipeline, North Dakota. There isn't any greater injustice than that. But what it's also doing is opening the eyes of other people, and there are more and more settlements growing all over the U.S. American citizens are literally not down with their own government. Now, most of them are Native folks, but there are white people, we'd call blue bloods, Tea Party, conservative people who the government just come and took their land as well without any, say so value or leave. They just took the land, and they're realizing that conservative white people have as much rights as Native people, or less. Everybody has no rights when it pertains to the injustice of government. So our little show here, Conscious Thought, is to just consciously look at things and discuss them. And if you have any issues you want to talk about, 416-651-0101. This show is a music show, and even though I talk a lot, it's actually a music show. So I'm going to play some music. Z, give me the Standing Rock tune, my brother.
They call it a pipeline, but those on the front lines know that black snake was sent for us to grow, to shed the skin our ancestors pray, of wounds old and calloused, so that we may stay, so that we may unite, unity our tool. No weapons are found in this court of rule. Men becoming ki'ai, steadfast in their guard, protecting women's hearts as their song become roots, roots to cast out healing for all sentient beings, to honor sacred mother, heart forward we heal. The salmon will run, the mountain will breathe, the rivers will flow. The rainbow is here and prophecy tells us all generations will hear.
Nations and our people that been living here for thousands of years. Stand up. We've been fighting for our freedom since the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria. Stand up. Like Geronimo, Sitting Bull, Red Cloud, Crazy Horse, Leonard Peltier. Stand up. Now they poisoning the waters for our sons and our daughters, so we on the frontier. We one nation, one cause, one people, one tribe. Now it's us against the pipeline. Get on your feet for.
Yeah, man. We're back again. Stand up for humanity. That's what the song is saying to us all. You know, it's not a native issue, it's a humanity issue. The people that run our planet have no fucks to give about any of you. But because we feel safe in our North American hood, and we read the news about what's happening to everybody else, we all feel safe, but it will come to your door because you've done nothing to help anybody else ever. So I'm gonna talk to the item because the history does repeat itself because we never seem to learn from it. I wanna step up here for a minute, switching gears to inform all of you that, as you know, Terry Brown passed away last week. Terry Brown is the man who held down the Marcus Garvey Day celebrations year after year after year. Terry passed away last week. There will be a tribute to him this coming Friday at Sankofa Restaurant, 1653 Eglinton Avenue West. This is this coming Friday, the 21st of April. If Terry Brown meant anything to you, you know, come on down and just come shake hands and celebrate the life of one of or a few black leaders who kept it real from beginning to end, top to bottom. Terry Brown is a true hero in our community. I want to step up again now and talk about something that is the same information week after week, but I'm going to keep saying it. So, where's the outlet that we have to vent and actually see change? Nothing changes. White supremacy is constant. The problem is they want us to just accept it, just shut up and accept it, and they can't. And many of us cannot. So what we need to be looking at is a different avenue of earning within this system for spiritual people. How does one survive with true spirituality? How does one survive when the structures we know and grew up with become untrustworthy, like our government, like Christianity? It's rammed down our throats, yet it kills billions of people. It is notorious for pedophilia, rape, wars, genocide. And it was a Christian American people that went into Aleppo and Syria and genocide them people. our Canadian government, through Justin Trudeau, backed the genocide, saying it was okay for what the Americans did. Well, I believe that this is actually a test for spirituality now. For us humans to overcome and push through the genocide, the rape, the mental health, the pharmaceuticals, and the corrupt governments, we must turn on that spiritual ray of sunshine, that love from within, and reach others who are also doing it. And find a currency to pull each other on, the currency of spirituality, not money. Killing the body of billions cannot and has never removed the spirit. The spirit is constant. Live in the beauty of the spirit and feel good about the people that you speak to and live around and with. That spiritual love emanates and showers others with warm love. You have to live in the spirit. There's no other path if you ever want to see change. So we're going to play some more tune. And we're going to try a group called Third World, Zaya. We'll try Jalo, because I want to talk about love.
Okay.
See.
You're listening to RootsReggaeRadio.ca. Keep it locked.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir, no problem. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mike's coming on.
Try Jah Love Rastafari. That's the Third World band led by the late lead singer, Bonnie Ruggs. Very spiritual hydrant. Yes, tomorrow is 420 for all the ganja smoking them out there. Some people, 420 means different things to them. To me, it means that you can actually purchase product for 20 years. This is part of our reggae movement of merchandising. As I've said before, this government will never give me any money with the stuff that comes out of my mouth. So I appreciate of all the people out there who support some kind of conscious thought and righteousness without you giving me a Bible verse or anything. Some people say they don't believe in a God, okay? But that you still have a responsibility for morality. Everybody has that responsibility. So, as it's gonna be 420 tomorrow, one of the things I wanna do is I'm gonna try and have a listening session tomorrow. And the people I want you to listen to is a band called Fugitive Minds. Fugitive Minds is a Toronto-based group, yet Jeremy lives out in British Columbia now, and everybody's gonna be all over the place, so. But the music is still here, the music is good. They sent me 45 minutes worth of a jam session. They were at a rehearsal, and they were jamming, and somebody decided to record it and put some effects on it, and they sent it to me. And why I am going to play it tomorrow, as a listening party for all of us who are home hanging out. Just put it on. It's 45 minutes of real laid back, awesome rehearsal. And because I used to manage a reggae band back in the day, for any of you musicians out there, sometimes the best music that you will ever hear is in rehearsal, when everybody's relaxed and no audience and they're not worried about messing up the keys or the timing, and they're just jamming. And this is what this was about. So to my 420 people out there, I'm going to get a little bit of Fugitive Minds. The track is called Whistleblower, and I will talk some more about my brothers. So run through selector. Blessed love Z Mystic for the support down here. And as we try and find you this track, one of the things that I want to bring to your attention too is that if you rewind that from the yeah. The microphone went down.
Yeah, okay.
That
so that the generations can protect themselves from this evil empire. That's the voice of Adam Shallcraft. And backing vocals, Jeremy Rampone. The band is called The Fugitive Minds. The lyrical content talks about the fight against a global oppression, the Babylon prison, and the truth is a crime. That is entirely the voices of a band of 6 white men, very conscious men who spend their time playing enough reggae and world beat kind of vibes, you know. So 4:20 tomorrow, I'll be playing you 45 minutes of a mix of their rehearsal jam session kind of vibe. And I have listened to it obviously more than once. And as a matter of fact, when I write for the show or write anything, I usually listen to music. The music I usually listen to is jazz / blues and reggae, you know, mixes. Because somehow the spiritual energy comes through those things very amazingly, you know. Sometimes, as much as I feel like I'm in tune, I hear some things in music, the lyrical content that just makes me stop and think. So, music is a very spiritual thing, you know. And reggae especially has found a way through its level of spirituality to reach millions, billions of people around the world. People who don't speak any Jamaican patois listen to reggae music. Because it speaks the truth. And it feels like the truth when you hear it and you listen. We spiritual beings are walking this planet surrounded by a physical shell. The body you have is just a shell that you were given. Because it is all you know, our consciousness is only here. Even though we feel different things from different planes of existence, we still think we're physical beings, and we're all confused. The powers that be get us all to focus on physical and keep us slaves distracted. Spiritual beings are neither confused or distracted. The more you tap into your spirit, the less confused you are, because you see through the crowd. Truly, truly spiritual beings do not get distracted. They see what it is. The thing that white men fear the most is the rise of the Muslim world, which is going to destroy them eventually anyway. Think what you like of Muslims, but many are truly spiritual people. They're not as greedy and as self-serving as the white Christians that we've been forced to follow all these 500 or so years. Because they mostly worship God, Allah. They worship Him first. We will never break them. The problem with Christianity, you know, is that the white man has used it to tame the world's population. And because of it, most of the world doesn't trust it. They neither believe in a God or any levels of spirituality. So how are you going to defeat really committed spiritual people like Muslim people? Them people pray 5 and 6 times a day, you know. You see a man, I was coming back from Montreal, driving to Toronto, and we pulled over at some stop to get some food and refreshment or whatever. And in the middle of the parking lot, with all the car that I drive by, a man gets out of his car, gets to the trunk, pulls out his little mat, prayer mat, folds it out on the parking lot. My man pulled over to pray. And I watched him, and I was like, when he was done, I'm like, wow, Bridget, you have no faith. And he said to me, it's not faith, it's service to Allah. And I'm like, man, I don't even know Christians. Preacher man, where's that devout? This man was no specific priest, he was a regular dude. I work with people back in the day at the TTC who used to come off of them bus at different places to pray. Okay? Because of the lies and deceit over the years, Christianity has lost their people and nobody trusts them. They're in chaos, all of them scrambling to fix a lie after another. But who really buys their stories? They create more chaos to keep the idiot race of humans distracted. Babylon prison, as Adam told you. We need to fight against this global oppression because that's what it is. It's not if you believe in God, no God oppresses and kills people. So we know we've been told a lie. But America is imploding from within. And if America is being imploded, we're just north of the border. And to everybody else around the world, we're no different than the Americans. So if anything goes down, you know it's going to happen here in Canada as well. Them all come here, so. See, they're already here probably. See? I remember watching the movie called The Matrix and watching the Agent Smith telling Morpheus that humans are the cancer of the planet. It's the truth. We are the cancers of the family, of this family. It's true, we're a family, a human family, we're the cancers of this planet. And because we do not budge in our spiritual growth, we're all infected. And they're now a part of that cancer that kills all of us. No, don't accept my place. White people like to tell you what your place is. But it's evident they expect me to remain exactly where I am. Now, tomorrow, and in future times. My place of subservience is based on the color of my skin. For instance, marijuana legalization. You know, before me talk about that, I'm not gonna give you a tune. It will lead very definitely into this track. The one called Jacob the Thriller Miller, The Healing of the Nation.
Please, Mr. Minister, a word with you. Only take a minute, sir. So don't you through. You know why you get the wrong name. You know why you get the wine.
Get to here.
You know why you get the cigarette smoking. Yes, you know, these things you can't stop.
Yeah. I hear that kind of music, more music, a declaration of rights, God you have a senior. We're not ready for them yet. Hold on there, don't make it stop. Make it play on. Since you play it, it's have to play it.
All the meditation on this one. Up, up, up. Got to know yourself on this one. RootsReggaeRadio.ca. Let's go.
Coming in 20 seconds? No? Next song? Coming in?
I'm coming in. Yeah. So, busy nights now, when you're on the radio show, I have to use my phone. You see me I read from the phone. Everybody a text and call in the middle of the show. Half of them know so you're on the radio, you know? But they still want them time with you, eh? I love the people. So the first one you were listening to was Jacob Miller, The Healing of the Nation. We're supposed to jump out to that and come right into this section. But the Declaration of Rights got played, and one of the things about the music on this show is that all of it is connected. It's connected to spirituality, it's connected to get up and fight for your rights, my brothers. Get up and fight for your right, my sisters. And that is pertaining to rather Rastafari against domestic abuse. Get up and fight for the way this planet treats our woman. We cannot progress if we continue so. Now I know we've been doing it for over 10,000 years, but it's time to get up and fight for our women and our children. They took us away from civilization to slave on this big plantation. They're not talking about a physical plantation of like the sugar plantation in Jamaica, you know. They're talking about the whole global plantation that we're all on. See? So what I was going to get to was how they expect us to just fall into line and be subservient to white supremacy. It's blatantly in front of all people. I know some of you expect us to accept it. Well, what's interesting is that a lot of you out there expecting us to accept this behavior. You are all on the same plantation as us, and you are about to reap the same shit that we've been reaping for 500 or so years, because the 1%ers don't care about you either. Let that sink in. All of you loving your white privilege, your governments, the banking institution, the shadow government, they don't care about you. So hopefully you get to care about yourself, and that's proof of that. Recently they're talking about marijuana legalization, and they wanted to know if we're gonna legalize it now, all the people that we charged years ago, are they gonna get out? They deemed it necessary to make it illegal for so many years and incarcerate a whole lot of niggas for all their private jails all over the world. Yet now that it's legal, man, them guys still need to serve their 10 years for a bag of weed or whatever it is they wanted to put these people in jail for. Again, Jeremy, big up for this article, right? Well, this is white supremacy and white privilege blatant in the face of white people. And they pretend, hey, they don't even pretend. They're not pretending, they're like, fuck you. And the boy, Justin Trudeau, we can't even call him Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, that's the boy. Him have a boy we work with him named Minister Ralph Goodale. This man's title is a public safety minister. Public safety, you know. And he's the one, the federal plan to legalize recreational marijuana does not include the general amnesty for past pot convictions. That's what Ralph said, man. Ralph Goodale. So like I said, the stuff that was illegal years ago, they deem it legal now, but you know, what this is based on is timing. If you black people had been incarcerated now or charged now, you wouldn't be in jail. So it's just a timing thing. So you niggas need to stay in jail because you missed your window of opportunity of legality. These are the sick white people that run our country. Let me just give this fool's name again. Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale. These are some sick racist people in the government of Canada. There's many of them. I keep talking about Mary Margaret McMahon and her role with trying to sabotage Afrofest a couple of years ago. There's so many of them in government. That's who they are. And it's not just them. The same thing are going on in Jamaica. The government there, all of these people, thank you, Jeremy, for liking the term, are bank tellers. All they're there to do is to sift the money for the corporation and to enslave the people. For those of you who still have this fight on, and you've heard it a million times, I'll say it again. Marijuana is a plant made by the Almighty that the white supremacist shadow government at some point decided that it was a detriment to humanity and used unjust laws to enslave and incarcerate. Jails are full of underprivileged, mostly black inmates. Now I know this is not news, but we act like these people are criminals. They're not criminals, man. They're victims of a very devious, cancer-like system. The criminals run the bank tellers. And like I said, every president, prime minister, premier, shah, whatever you want to call them, they're all bank tellers. The cancer runs how we live. There's no regard for black life. They are built, we, black people, are built to endure pain and torture. It is our lot in life as far as they're concerned. Interesting how they will respond when the same system that they're employed by starts to really niggerize them in the months and the years to come. Here's a thing that you need to listen to a little. If back in the 80s and 90s, some of you remember this stuff, ADD or ADHD, these acronyms that they gave to some of the children who didn't seem to fit in. My son, Dylan, was one of those children that they tried to get me to put on some kind of drug. I think it's Ridley they wanted to put him on. They did it to hundreds, probably thousands of children, and I can bet you most of them are black. But other nationalities were put on Ridley. I know a virgin of mine is Filipino, and they did it to his son. And there are others. And one of the things you gotta recognize about ADD or ADHD, I'm fairly sure I would have been diagnosed with it in school as well. People like me are creative thinkers. So when I start reading a book, when most of you continue reading page after page, I don't get there. I read half the page and I start to concoct my own story in my own head. And half hour later I realize I haven't read a single word because I've been concocting my own story the whole time. Now they tell you that, that's a problem because you can't concentrate. That's bullshit. You need to find a system that helps you to enhance your creativity. But they know who you are, so they block you. They don't want creative people out here. They're like sheep. Everybody who gets through class are sheep, and all the rest of us are either drugged or labeled. I don't believe, in my opinion, and I'm no psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor or nothing, but these people will disagree. But I disagree with them. ADD and ADHD is not a thing. It's their thing. They just refuse to teach bright, spiritual people. This is a spiritual existence in which we live. And on that note, I'm going to touch our tune. I played it last week, but I want to play it again because this one goes out to all the people in government, all of you, that get paid each week to do your job. This is one I dedicate to every single one of you. So, my brethren, give me Kabaka Pyramid, please. Well done, Mr. Politician Man and Politician Lady.
I do not government side of me bow down. Come to tell a little story about the girl next door.
Draw breaks on that one there. Yeah. Kabaka Pyramid.
Inna your face, them a smile up. Behind your back, money, them a pile up. Try to start your business and them quick to spoil up. Hey, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job at tear down with country demolition man. Sickly bang, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done such a great job selling out the country with your business plans. Well, you figure a round of applause. Bring on the work you're doing. Decisions where you make will left the country in a ruins, yo. Strictly personal gain you're pursuing. So the tax rate higher than the planes where you're fluent. We gon' make you deal with the IMF. Flowing on a box line and a sugar cane left. The hotels and the beaches. The Spanish then go speeching. We don't know how you do, but all the happy say is well done, Mr. Politician Man. See still, so give thanks. Yeah.
Right, son.
Thanks.
Barker P. Again, I'm very conscious youth. Thank you, politicians in Jamaica, for selling out our country. World Tune Selector.
Now we come to the musical thing.
Hey.
From the kingdom,
Yeah. We'll save that one there, you know.
My bad.
We're saving that one. That's all good. That's the next tune I'll play anyway. We'll give them a little preview. Saying the politician people that continue to rape our countries. I've been having conversations with people recently about what's happening on our planet. And in reality, people, it's a spiritual existence that you need to focus on. I'm not trying to be no pacifist, because those of you who know me, I'm no pacifist. But when you know a truth, then it's on you to make a change. Saying, I'll get back to what I was talking about before, but since we're on this topic, I just wanted to jump on this one. I had sent I told people about the American anthem, Star Spangled Banner. It was in reference to Colin Kaepernick not standing or saluting to the anthem as it was played before his game when he was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And the major backlash he got from the white public, it had nothing to do with the fact that, or the issue that he was trying to bring awareness to the abuse by the police in his own country towards black people. The fact that they are able to murder at any point and still walk free. So, I don't even know how many black people in America actually researched their own anthem, but I'm gonna help them. I don't know if any of them are listening to this program, but if they do, you know, the usual, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly be we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watch, we were so gallantly streaming, the rockets' red glare, the bomb bursting in the air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over land of the free and the home of the brave." You used to hear that. Well, this thing has 4 verses. They only sing the first one at all of the events, Super Bowl and boxing and everything. Hockey, they just sing that one verse. But in the 3rd verse, which is interesting for you, is that it says, "And where is the band who so valiantly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution." This is black people I'm talking about. Their blood was washed out, their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner is triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm going to read that section again. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner, it triumph does wave. It triumphantly waves over niggas. Not sure why black people stand up and salute that shit, but that's how We call it programming. And that's how programmed we are. We stand up and salute to something, a country, a culture, an anthem that has nothing to do with black people, but you're still expected to stand to attention and serve your country, but we don't like you niggas. These are very sick, racist people. So, and even though that's the American national anthem, that same sentiment by white, powerful Canadians is the same for all of us here in this country. I'm getting to speak now because I can, and there will come a time where they will shut me up. One of the things I'm going to talk about, it's 8:12, so hopefully I'll get to it, is I'm going to start talking about the TTC. I used to work there one time. And I saw things that led me to an early retirement. And grateful that I was able to get out. But when I do start speaking about them, they will monitor what I say, and there's a chance that I will lose my pension. But I've got to take that chance, because it's time to speak. This is a spiritual existence. We like to look at people who speak of spirituality as religious hoaxes, born-again Christians. You know them people that are like new vegan, people who just became vegan, how irritating they all are. Eat this, eat that, shut up. All them weird people, conspiracy theorists. That's what they label me. And in that way, they can just discredit you immediately. A conspiracy theorist is somebody who's willing to tell lies, they think. But if you find it, if you listen to a lot of these conspiracy theories, you find out much of them are true. One of the most interesting things to me recently is the Tea Party reaching out to Reverend Louis Farrakhan, a man who America has hated for a very long time. The CIA tried to assassinate him. FBI has investigated this man and harassed him, and there is proof that the CIA has tried to take him out. And now they're talking to him because they're now seeing his truths. They're realizing, the Tea Party, all these blue blood Americans are starting to realize that this government that they talk about, that's behind the real government, that's behind the fake government that Trump runs, or Obama, or Jimmy Carter, or any other president. They're just bank tellers, people. The truth about all this, we cannot fight them. We are way out of their realm and scope on this level. They have a drone with a bomb in it for each and every single one of us. That's why they spend trillions every year on their army. They have more bombs and guns and ammunition, tanks, aircraft carriers, satellites, media, social media, banks. Thank you, Mr. Biker. Governments, fresh water, artificial intelligence. We have zero chance in a physical fight. They don't even need like soldiers on the ground. Many of them soldiers obviously are expendable because they start these fake wars with people, tell us that we have to get into Iraq because Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, which everybody knew then never existed. They still went in and killed him. And then they went into Libya and took out Muammar Gaddafi because Gaddafi figured out that if they had to pay for the oil in gold, which he and all of Africa have a lot of, it would kill the American dollar, so they killed him. That's the truth. But then, of course, there's also conspiracy theory. I'm the crazy man on the microphone. All those things are distractions. All of them, all of the above. This is a spiritual existence. See? We have been totally distracted by the physical. I got some more examples for you. But in the meantime, I want to play my tune with Jesse Royal that was just running. Modern day Judas. Describes a lot of these people around me right now.
Now we come to the musical thing from the King's Offspring, Jesse. Some people you right, and them still choose to show you hate. From them out there, yeah. From them I play bad, yeah. I them a bad fighters. People critical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas. The spellers of rumors. Oh, them a bad fighters. People critical to stylers. We call them modern day Judas. Spellers of rumors. Hey, so why should I be afraid of you when you bleed just like I do? The more you try to fight, judge a light keeps shining too. So I've got no time for you, cause in a mind you wanna step in on my shoe. You wish you never leave a do and feel so damn confused. How every day you wake it ache because you know you're fake, and every step you take I bring you closer to your grave. But I am like a kind of when I hear you.
How you doing, Gates? I can play.
No politician, they are lack vision. We the children of today are on a mission to fulfill the promise of tomorrow. Rastafari need the way care not what
Rastafari, I said. Yeah. See? Rastaman, them attack, you know. But now ramp with the thing. See? Hypocritical two-side lass. Them don't trust no politician. Yeah. All the time. I get all kind of conversation around me and behind me and all kind of thing. But that's how we do it on Roots Reggae Radio, you know. A normal thing, you know. We just move with the program, you know. But what I say, politicians are not to be trusted. The youths of today must step up because the politicians have a job to do. They're paid to sell out their own countries and line their pockets with a salary. They're not to be trusted. See? I'm not saying to talk no anarchy, you know. Mr. Talk say right now, we have to wake up and not. We need to push them in the direction we want them to go in. The 1% is out there. They do listen. See? But the rest of them out there, hypocritical two-side lass. That's a matter about that has two sides to it, you know. Hypocritical two-side lass. Modern day Judas. Anyway, I was just saying to the item, see, we're being distracted by a physical fight which doesn't truly exist. We have to focus on the spiritual. You hear the message from me, you know, but you hear it from people way smarter than me, you know, and people far more spiritual than I. For example, one of the things that I have discovered over the years is to do with even sex itself. Sex is a spiritual thing that we are duped into believing is a physical because we use our outer extremities to gain pleasure. We become further confused about the act of sex as a spiritual meeting of our inner spiritual cores, so we become lost, seeking a lover and not a spiritual connection. This is what we should be teaching in schools. Yeah, you're gonna get horny and you're gonna wanna do something about it. And that girl or that guy looks real good, so we'll go deal with it. But when the act is finished and the carnal energy is released, many of us look at the partner we were with and go, why did I do that? Or one of the partners thinks that the union means more than the other one. And it's because we are pulled away from the spiritual. Sex is a spiritual thing. However you want to deal with it, however you want to use it, is up to you. When you respect your spiritual self, you move in a proper direction for self, then for your partner or spouse, and then also for humanity. We have all heard it a million times. The change you seek is you. That is the only truth. You must be willing to make spiritual uplifting changes. The responsibility falls on you, the individual. When the spiritual energy is built on an individual basis, change happens. Our fight can never be physical. We cannot beat them in a physical realm. Like I said, them have more guns than we do. They have everything. Them have media. There's nothing we have to fight with except our spiritual energies. It must be spiritual. It is why we're all confused today. But that puts the onus on the individual. Me, you. And we are all spiritually lost. This is where we fail because we believe ourselves to be too insignificant to make any difference, which is the furthest thing from the truth. If everybody, just think about this for a second. If 8 billion people were spiritually connected, what a difference this world would be. Many of you, us, have the ability to tap into our spiritual selves. I know the distractions are there. I know bills need to be paid. I got a huge distraction today, trust me. I have lost 3 people last week who meant a lot in my life. One of them, she named all 3 of my children. All 3 of the children I had with one of the moms. And I lost her. And I lost Mrs. Holong. And we lost Terry Brown. Their spirituality changed my life. So I'm not advocating that everyone gets up and hit a church or a mosque or a temple tomorrow and go cuss these people. Or go into there and you're gonna find spirituality just because you walk into a mosque or a church or a temple. I'm just saying tap into the spirituality of yourself. You know that Jiminy cricket that we all have inside our heads? Some of y'all call it a conscience. Listen to it. It is there for a reason. We all have it. We just put it aside because we can. No government can change this. Remember, they're the bank tellers, they're the cancers, modern day Judas. The collective spirit inside us makes this change. My path is through His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Whoever guides you, or whatever guide you choose, that guides your spirit, I accept it, as long as it comes in peace and love. I am not that interested in having a fight with anybody. Yeah, we all have bad tempers and we all get upset when shitty things happen. But the fight is spiritual, and the reason why it is going to be successful is because these people have no soul. If you're not in a soul, you can't fight spiritual people. Believe in your spirituality. It is a powerful weapon of good. You know what I mean? Alright, we're gonna play some more music. My sister called Tasha T. I never play her tune before, and I'm here tonight, and I love you, Tasha T. Wherever you're there. This one is called Ethiopia. Run tune, Rastaman.
For I
come on. Pull it back up again. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm leaving
1975. Yeah.
coming out, coming out, coming out, coming out. I am on my way, so please come with me. With teach us to love, teach us to forgive. The God of Ethiopia, divine majesty, no one will around.
I'm going to start after 10 seconds and get drop in.
That we may prove for the last days, oh Jah. When our enemies are past as decayed, oh Jah. In the depth of the sea, oh Jah. In the depth of the earth, or in the belly of a beast, Ethiopia, Ethiopia, yeah.
It says Marcus Garvey Marcus Garvey was talking about slavery day. Slavery day? No? Alright, we'll say both things. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Well, that's right, but I hope it is.
Teach us to forget, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that beautiful voice. That's Tasha T, another very powerful artist, reggae artist out of Canada. She's singing about Ethiopia. She talked about His Majesty. She praising Haile Selassie I. That is what Rastafari people do. And we'll keep praising His Majesty because it seems to be the thing that opens doors for us. So we'll continue doing so. And then me hear the rhythm, you know, so me think me have the right tune, you know. So I'm gonna try a thing, you know. I look for a Burning Spear tune, which is the bass track of that. Bum 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 bum. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Yeah. Yeah. One Z Mystic.
Yeah,
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Oh, you wanna let me do what I can for you, hello. Come, walk on.
Oh.
Let me do what I can for you alone. Oh. The right time to ignite. Shall be skies with many stripes. Weeping and wailing and warning. You got yourself to them. I tell you, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right.
right.
I think you, take you to the right. Take you to the right. Oh,
Hold them, Marcus, hold them.
Prophecy fulfilled. Catch them, Yahweh, catch them. Hold them, Marcus, hold them. Marcus, Yahweh, Marcus.
Marcus, Garvey, Marcus. On that note, I still want to mention again, there will be a tribute to Terry Brown, the man who used to run the Marcus Garvey Day celebrations in this country in Toronto for many, many years, you know. It kind of fell off, you know, because, you know, black consciousness has changed a lot. We've all gotten a little more civilized, an acceptance of white supremacy and white privilege. So some of us don't feel the need to celebrate the words of Marcus Garvey, which teaches us, along with the words of His Imperial Majesty, that teaches us self-reliance. We're too owned by the system. Black people need to get up. It's not news. If you're not pro-black, or if you are pro-black and black businesses and development and upliftment, it doesn't mean you're anti-white. All we get is whiteness anyway. You're not anti-anything. You're just about the protection of your own children. What's wrong with protecting my own children? You can't tell me what to do about that one, bro. If you come near them, I'm going to deal with you. Last week I put this thing up on social media and somebody got offended. And it said, if you have to hide your pro-blackness while you are around your white friends because they'll think you are racist, they are not your friends, they are your overseer. You need to know the difference. If you have to just curb what you say because you don't want to hurt the feelings of the people around you, then you're in the wrong company. Or maybe you like that company, but me not curb my mouth, you know, me not keep my mouth for no boy. So all them white dudes who are offended by me, just stay far from me. I got enough friends of my own, of all races, that know what I talk about. And they're not offended by it. Because they know from my heart, I want the best for everyone. And yeah, just wanted to bring that to the item attention still. Terry Brown will be honored properly on Friday, the 21st of April at Sankofa restaurant, run by my brethren, African Star, baddest selector around. I was trying to get Rodigan to come here and challenge Star, but after the customer Rodigan taking the past week, I think people know that right now that African Star will name him. Anytime Rodigan need a name, come to Toronto, man, come to Canada, you know, and come battle the African Star and see how that works out. Even win or lose, everybody wins because we'll be dealing with two top-notch DJs. As much as I cuss Rodigan, because the people, you know, it's true, his white skin allows him to get into certain places other black selectors just as gifted as him cannot get into. You can't get mad at Rodigan for that. Man just making a living. But we need to bring that to the forefront because there are other powerful selectors out there that don't get paid half what Rodigan gets paid. So we'll have to deal with that case, you know what I mean? So like I said, Terry Brown at Sankofa this coming Friday, the 21st of April, 1653 Eglinton Avenue West. It's up on the south side of the street. So please come, and even if it's just to clap and sing, let's do that. Let's celebrate one of our own, one of ours who fought really hard for our culture and continued. Even on his deathbed, as I am holding his hand last week Sunday, telling me to continue I fight. So when somebody that powerful says something to you on his deathbed, I didn't realize it was a deathbed because on Sunday he felt strong and powerful, and by Tuesday morning he was gone. So he imparted a message to me that I man must follow through with. Saying, I want to play a tune now because my man called Esca Levi. I was listening to this tune earlier, my brother. I want to hear it again. It's called Suffering Man. We're talking about the sufferer them in our culture. Boy, I mean, I take so much time, hook you up. Yeah. That was the one guy, Esca Levi. Yeah, Holy Days you missed it. I'm going to show you something on that page. I go down a little more. Right there. Read them three people. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Esca Levi, because again, I'm going to talk about him as a suffering man. Talking about the way the people in rape off, the government rape off Jamaican people. So, on another tip, I'm gonna run a next tune. Same message, beautiful tunes, intelligent black people speaking out. If everybody starts to listen, we can literally make a change, because we must. We can't have them murdering people in Jamaica the way that they continue to do. Run tune selector, the one called Chronics, with their power. You see the boy from the far, right?
Yeah.
That's my son.
Oh, proper. What?
Yeah. The most downloaded rappers on Spotify.
Yeah.
Last week.
Nice. Wow. Gotta take him in.
Saturday, yo. I gotta tell you for a long time. You know that song called Vomit.
There's no type to feed. Some of these places where you want to live a nice, I give them teeth.
In the name of Christ.
Spanish tongue that I
capture land.
The whole of Kingston that I capture land. Remember Portland that I capture land. And you're not Trinidad that I capture land. Barbados that I capture land. Tell them Bermuda that I capture land. And tell Colombia that I capture land. And around Cuba that I capture land.
Well, tell them so now. Murderer. 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 That's who we are, people. You don't know. This is not news to any of you. I can only speak, while they give me a chance to speak, because they own the media. And when they want to shut my mouth, they can shut that shit right out. Saying, so I'm just talking now while I still can. Saying, I was gonna get into the TTC thing when I was gonna ask some of you people, what do you think about the TTC losing money, but telling and watching them allowing people to walk in free at the back doors of these streetcars and having the security force ticket 1 and 2 of them? How much money do you think they're actually saving and making? And is that the most efficient way of doing it? Why are you catching the people at the back end when you should be paying the security force to go into the places where the people beat the system? There's a guy out there who wrote a blog. He has not paid on the TTC for over a decade, and he will tell you how he does it. He gets his transfers, he gets everything he needs every single day, and travels the system for free for over a decade. Saying, why are we paying these people? Not sure. We can have a more efficient system, because I really used to be proud of the TTC, Before I started working there, I thought it was a cool job. I thought it was a prestigious job. I thought it was, a nice place to be. And then I ended up working there. Wow. What a place to be. Anyway, we got 7 minutes to go. I didn't get to all the music I wanted to play, but I don't know. We have every week we can play music. Hey, you did tell me about El Tremor. Come here, I'm live before I read my final statement. Run that tune. What's up, tune, Common Brethren?
Can't hold me down.
Can't hold her down. Can't hold me down. Miss El Tremor, another Canadian.
Them can't hold me down. No, no, no way. Oh, 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 oh. The all that they want, the brighter it shine. Oh, 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 oh. The all that they want, the brighter it shine. Them can't hold me down. Them fear, them tears for one night. Now them say goodbye.
to one called Miss El Tremor. Tough little DJ, and one night me there Sankofa and she started blaze with the place and I have to get up and pull up her track because she was blazing. So she performs enough in Toronto, Canada, JCA, Sankofa, all kinds of places. A very gifted, what you call a DJ, you understand? But you can't hear she can't sing too, you know. So you can't hold her down, you know. So I'm gonna play one more tune to end the show. But before I get there, I just wanna say this again. Where is the outlet? What is the avenue that we seek to work within the system but outside of it and be successful as spiritual people? The system isn't set up for spiritual people to make a living unless you open a church and you know what them things are about. You don't pay any taxes, but you get to rip a lot of people off and you get to do and say heinous things. So, businesses, all you spiritual people out there, we should connect. We should talk. We should actually work on each other and have a directory for spiritual people. So we can even put $10 more in each other's pockets each week. If everybody who was spiritual and wanted to change the world started to work with each other, like especially farmers, anybody who organic food, have their own farms, we should be buying from them directly. We should have a pipeline to do that. So, in summertime I'll be talking about the African food basket. I will never let that go. How does one survive in the system where the structures that we have followed have become untrustworthy? Christianity is rammed down the throats of people, killing billions. We're talking about mass pedophilia, rape, wars, genocide. Who are these people who govern us? I believe that it's a natural test of spirituality to overcome and push through the genocide, rape, mental health, pharmaceuticals, corrupt government. We must turn on that spiritual ray, that spiritual sunshine of love that's within each and every one of us. That is the only currency that we should be using. Killing all of us doesn't change the spirit. The spirit still shines. We can make a change through it. Live in the beauty of the spiritual and feel good about the people that you speak to and live around and with. That spiritual love emanates and showers others. It will change us all. And on that note, I'm going to play my last tune for the item. The next one is a twin spin from the one called Chronics. And it tells you who's coming to get you. Here comes trouble. Here comes the danger. Sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta. One more down, please. Yeah, here comes trouble. That's it, my brother. Run, tune selector. Can't find him yet.
There it is.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We're coming in now. We're not on a gun, but we're come.
Say, here comes trouble, here comes the danger. Sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. I am a start recruit, soldiers for Selassie, army.
Good. Bless.
Bless the love, my brother.
God know.
Thank you, my brother.
I
I didn't thank the short people this week.